Hello and welcome to the Metroidvania podcast. I'm Professor Q.
And this is Caldrath from the Metroidvania subreddit and Discord.
This is Master. I'm also from there.
All right, perfect. This week, I messed up my own introduction. But besides that, this is Mortal Manor. I bring it up a lot, I talk about it a lot. And I thought that it would be good for me to just stream it, and so everybody can see what it is, and that way when I talk about it, people know what I'm talking about. I'm not actually going to read this, I'm just going to let it scroll by. I didn't look up the price of this game, but I don't think it's more than $8. I think it's cheaper than that. But as far as value goes, if you like this game, there is a ton of value in it, but as we'll see as we play, I think it is for a very niche audience. Very difficult game, and I'm playing on normal mode. I actually recommend you play on easy mode, and you'll find out why as I fail over and over again, I'm sure.
So would you say that this game has fair difficulty or not?
Okay, so your definition of fair is that the first time you go through it, you should be able to have enough of a heads up that you can tackle it. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I would say that this game is fair, based on your definition. Now, would you say Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link is fair?
It's been a long time since I played that, but I don't recall anything that was unfair specifically.
Now, there's probably some instances in the game where maybe some bullets fire off, in a pattern that might not be fair. I think that the Firebird specifically might have some issues like that. But I think the biggest thing that people bring up when saying Zelda 2 is unfair is that when you die, you have lives, and when you run out of lives, you have to go all the way back to the beginning again. And this game has that problem.
So I consider that to be it's punishing difficulty.
Yes, punishing is probably the best way of putting it. So this is one of those games where you want to kind of go through as slow as possible. These guys can jump, so you kind of let him go into the puddle. I've probably done this a few times. It's been 2 years since I played this. I'm still remembering little things like that.
Do you have air control?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Air control is a thing.
So far you've just only held the right button.
Yep, this is totally a Metroidvania, don't worry. I wouldn't... There are movement upgrades, and there are lots of different options. In fact, one of the gimmicks of this game is that, unlike many Metroidvania games, every single square on this map is filled with something. Whoops.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, the game doesn't pause when you pause.
Oh, jeez.
Also, when you die, you lose everything since your last save point. So, all that experience and everything I got, all gone.
That's how Metroid and Castlevania work.
And also, when you die, it ruins OBS and changes my resolution for some reason. So I just fixed that.
This game looks fun.
That's another part of punishing difficulty.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what the deal with this guy is and how you kill him without him taking at least a hit off of you.
Are you guys familiar with Suicide Linux?
No, I'm not familiar.
So it's Linux, but whenever you enter a command that doesn't run, it uninstalls itself.
Oh no!
That's hilarious. I like that. Hi Cactor, how's it going?
So yeah, that is the ultimate version of the punishing difficulty.
That's hilarious.
And it's kind of where it changes your settings.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't change my music settings, because when I first loaded this game, it was like, I had to work with that. Also, at some point, I may change the music. If anybody gets annoyed with the music in the chat log or anything, let me know. And I do have a playlist set up. After a while playing this game, it's the only game I did this with. I had to turn the music off at a certain point. And then I got a playlist of Castlevania music, and whoa! Okay, this room is a trick. Kill the fish.
I like that they're called predictable perch, as if they're insisting that they're like fair difficulty.
This is totally fair, guys. So I think those stars give you experience points. I know there's a save point down here, so...
So far, it seems pretty fair.
I think it is fair throughout the entire thing. The thing that makes it a harder game to recommend to general audiences is that punishing difficulty. Like, it gets to the point where you go really deep into the castle, and then when you die, you lose all of that map progress, and it turns out that because they decided to fill every square of the castle, there's a lot of castle that just isn't necessary. And so it feels really bad to make it that far, lose all that progress that you didn't even really need in the first place. Right? I think this game would have done a lot better with an Axiom Verge style death mechanics, or even Dark Souls where you pick up your stuff again, but as is, it's kind of rough. And
Does this even have gold?
I don't think there are any shops. It does have experience points, so you do level up and you can choose which stats you level up. I can't remember what the stats are. You have strength, constitution, psi, luck, and then it tells you how many times you died, because that needs to be a stat.
Gotta grind the death stat.
Yeah, grind that up.
So did you completely finish this game when you first played it?
No, I did not 100% complete it. I did beat it, because that's my requirement, but it's one of those games where it's like, nope, got to the final boss. So, talking about value, if you do like this game, it does come with its own built-in randomizer, 3 different difficulty modes, and a bunch of other options, which I can show off before we quit. Oh no. Luckily, the knockback lets you gain control again, partially through your fall.
Yeah, it seems like it knocks you back really far, really fast, then you recover relatively quickly.
Okay, let's see. I think you can equip these. Oh, can you equip relics? Nope. So it says the ninja socks let you backdash while in the air, but I have no idea how to backdash. So anyway, I'm gonna try and use one of
The
those
backdash
potions.
button, obviously.
There you go. This skeleton I wasn't doing a whole lot of damage to, so this may be a trick. Oh gosh. Oh no.
This
So-
area seems painful.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think this is where you progress. Like, you get your first movement upgrade from up here. Oh, and speaking of movement upgrades, there are like 2 in this game, so it technically fits the Metroidvania build because of that, but it's not like diverse.
Is 2 the minimum?
I don't know. Calderout's the one who has a rubric for that.
It's I think it's a question of the ratio of what blocks progression, where its majority is ability gates.
So the interesting thing about the movement upgrades in this game is that, yes, there's 2, however, they stack. And what I mean by that is you get this grappling hook. Okay, so when I attack him, it makes him jump, and so you want to make sure he lands. I am really not doing enough damage to this skeleton. Oh no.
Oh, I like how they spelled skeleton.
Skeleton.
So as long as I move towards him, he'll back away from me. So as long as I can keep him on this platform, I can kind of exploit that.
Hello, chat people.
How's it going, Silverant? So as you can see, this is fair, but this particular instance, not terribly engaging.
It's tedious.
Right.
You're probably supposed to level up before you come here, or get a better weapon or something like that.
Yeah. I think I might be able to access a boss or something, but I do remember there's a... I hope I wasn't, like, too harsh on it when I was talking about it earlier, Silverant. Oh, actually,
And I got the impression it was pretty bad. It seems okay.
oh gosh. Alright,
After that screen shake.
you're right, Calderoth, I'm not supposed to be here yet. You see that line?
Oh, it just won't even let you progress?
Yeah, I need to flip a switch. Alright, so I'm following the line. So this is something cool that this game does. So you see now I can save my game. You can kind of decide where you need to go based off of those chords that you see in the wall. Which I like that. I like that a lot. Kind of an environmental method of showing you where to go.
Yeah, I think Cathedral
Just
did that
something
a
on
few
the
times.
map.
Alright, so here's another of those skeletons we're going to take forever to kill, so I'm not even going to bother. If I remember correctly, we can go this way. So I'm being very careful. This game can get really frustrating really fast if you're not. And there are a lot of enemies you just don't want to deal with at all. Also, they can flip around instantly. I think there's a secret passage here. Spoiler alert, guys.
Oh man.
Oh, this leads right to the boss. Sweet. Let's do it.
With half health.
So one of the things I said in my review of this game is that this game is all substance and no style. I like how the first boss is just a frog. Whoops.
A frog that...
It's pretty stylish.
Oh, okay. It shoots a projectile.
I mean, he still has less health than that skeleton.
It's probably true.
You are doing 3 times the damage to it.
I think that I need a blunt weapon in order to damage the skeleton normally. I think it uses that logic. Whoops. Oh, I'm dead if I get hit again. Ah, and I knew I wasn't gonna make that one. And we're back here. Maybe we should level up once just to try and make it a little easier.
Yeah, you were really close to leveling up. Maybe... What's to the left?
It's this deadly beach area. I'll go take a look.
Difficult is like the 5th word in the description.
Oh, in the story description? I like how they put a wall here, even though it's like really obvious you can come this way. Oh gosh. Holy cow. Okay. Yeah, we're not
Okay,
gonna
maybe,
take
yeah.
it. I remember that not being an option.
Is that enemy gating, I see?
You could call it that.
Skill gating. Get good.
I'm going to continue using that shortcut to the boss because this game's hard enough as it is. Anyway, I didn't want to not recommend this game, but at the same time, it was like just little things that kind of make it a frustrating experience. But it's a very interesting game regardless. So Denzo was asking if anybody's heard of the game Resin. I've of course heard of it because Denzo's shown it to me, but have either of you heard of it?
I don't believe so. Maybe it was mentioned on the Discord once.
It's possible. So they may have been. There we go, level up. Now we have to go back to the cross in order to level up.
What's that blue thing that you just didn't pick up?
Was there a blue thing I didn't pick up? I think it
Yeah.
may have been just water, unless you're talking about these plants.
I think an enemy dropped it.
I think that's mana.
Oh, okay.
I don't have anything that uses mana yet.
Disappointed that even after level up, you still do 1 damage to that enemy.
Oh, that's because I haven't spent my stats yet. I think you might get an amazing, like, 3 points when you level up. Okay, so when you're at the save point, you can go in here. And... Actually, I'm not doing it right. What am I doing? Oh, if I can remember everything that you do in this game. Is this it? Okay, I have 1 point. And we're obviously going to put that into strength, because killing things faster is always the better option. Of course, that frog was destroying me. So Resin was actually removed from Steam because the developer... Oh gosh. That's not even doing more damage. What the heck? Good thing for lingering hitboxes, right? And yeah, I recently added a obscure Metroidvania section to the Discord for the site, and I've learned about some interesting stuff from there.
Nice. Why was resin removed?
The developer decided that it wasn't finished and wasn't planning on finishing it and didn't feel good selling it or something like that. Like, there's some information in there, or on the forums, that talk about it. I don't want to spread rumors that aren't true.
Interesting.
But it's available on itch.io, so if you still want to get it, you can still
It's cool.
play
Is that
it.
also what happened to Bunny Must Die?
Is Bunny Must Die on itch.io? That is the reason why it was removed from Steam, but
Yeah, I don't know if it's on itch.io.
I don't think you can get it on PC legally.
Just noticed that the boss has a description, and I love it. Comically large amphibian. That alone makes me want to buy this game.
You know, like I said, I think that there are people that might enjoy it. But as you can see, it's pretty tough.
So yeah, it doesn't seem like leveling up strength did anything.
No, I'm thinking the
Why
same
is that?
thing.
Do enemies drop equipment?
I think so, maybe? I think, oh, that's what the luck stat's for, so it's just like Castlevania. I think that if you look in your pause menu, there's a bestiary, and I think it shows you, yeah, so they have drops, and I haven't received anything from anybody yet, so.
Yeah, maybe they expect you to grind out the drops.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, grinding is an option to mitigate the difficulty. Which was one of the
Is this a game?
Oh, go ahead.
Is this a game where you can just grind until it's easy? Doesn't seem like it. Seems like you're supposed to be good at the game.
So
Grinding makes.
I can show you my successful file before I quit tonight, just so you can kind of see what an endgame player looks like. And this guy is going to cause me no end of trouble if I can't get good at jumping at just the right time, and that was not it. Oh gosh. I turned left because I thought I was already off the platform, and I wasn't. So is anybody tired of the music yet?
Thankfully, I don't have to listen to it because.
Oh, you guys have your sound turned off.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I guess they wouldn't hear us if they turned that sound off.
I will go ahead and switch it because I get tired of this after a while. So let me go ahead and turn that off. This music is a modern art. Oh gosh. Alright. I got a playlist in the background so we can play that instead.
Nice.
Alright, so this game's
be
going to
back.
suddenly have much better music. So if you want to, you can stand here and kill these things. But as you can see, that's the reason why I just walked past them.
Maybe it has enough XP to be worth it.
I don't remember that it does. There's a lot of enemies that are just better off skipping, like these plants. Let's try and hit him again, just to see.
Maybe you can reflect the projectile.
No, not with this sword. I think you can get something later on that does, though.
Now see, enemy gating.
Alright, so I think it's better to kill this thing than to try and jump over it, because I don't think I can get past this thing without taking a hit. I seem to be doing more damage to those guys, so I guess it's just specific enemies I'm not able to do more damage to. I want to break that box in case it has a heart in it, but that's a small chance, and I don't want to get hit by that bouncing dude. I just covered my OBS chat. There we go. Oh gosh. That was really close.
I wonder how big your hitbox actually is.
Oof.
Or how big the enemy's hitbox is.
That was clutch healing just now. However, I'm not really any further on this battle than I started. So when he starts glowing red like that, that's a good time to deal lots of damage to him. In fact, that's probably the only time you want to deal damage to him, because when he spits... Oh! Okay. Got greedy. The end lag on my sword got me.
Dark Souls.
Yeah.
We've gone like 20 minutes without mentioning Dark Souls, I think.
No, I mentioned Dark Souls when I was talking about death mechanics that would have helped this game.
Okay. I'll be back in just a minute. I ate a ton of peanut butter. Now I'm really thirsty and I need water.
Okay. So one of our topics tonight was the upside down difficulty curve. I think we've hit a point where I'm starting to hit repetition, so maybe we should start talking about things. Since the game has taxed its... So what were you going to say, Calder?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I guess the main reason that it happens is that... Well, actually, there's a question of whether it's intentional or not, because a lot of the Metroidvania, like, appeal of Metroidvania is like having a power fantasy, where like you get to go back to earlier areas where things were difficult, and then just like completely annihilate the enemies there. And so,
Oops, sorry.
a lot of times they'll include the like late game areas in the power fantasy, I think. So I think sometimes it's intentional, but a lot of times it's just like they didn't really account for how much like XP the player gets, or the like the pickups that you wind up getting.
So you think it's a math problem that they did it on accident?
Yeah. So Rabby Ribby actually did something interesting with that, where you can actually choose the way it scales difficulty, and one of the options is that it will make the game harder as you pick up more like power-ups.
Yeah, I saw that one. It's very interesting. Oops.
I'm not sure how much I like that. Like, it does make it so that it kind of takes away from wanting to like go find all the power-ups, because they're not actually making things easier.
I need to find a different strategy on this guy. Right.
This isn't particularly... I mean, it's a little related. Before Dead Cells was updated a couple years ago, so there are these scrolls you find in the game where you can upgrade different stats, but when you do that, at least back then, it also upgraded the enemies. So, but the problem is that the amount of stat boost that you receive from the scrolls diminishes with each one you grab, but the enemies still keep scaling. So at some point after like 14 scrolls or so, you're just making the game harder by picking up an upgrade.
I don't remember that being the case when I played, but I also played after it was out of early access.
I think this was still in early access, yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay, one of these runs I'm gonna actually not get hit by this guy. So what is an example of a game that doesn't have an upside down difficulty curve and continues to be challenging throughout the whole thing?
Like one that has power-ups and like a Metroidvania.
Yeah. If you can think of one. I can think of one, but I'm gonna see if either of you say which one I'm thinking.
The Red Station Alpha.
ESA is the first one I think of. And I think part of that is because that game has so few power-ups in general, and it manages to pull that off. Like, one of the things that Metroid has to deal with, and I don't know if Metroid might be an example of a game that doesn't really have an upside-down difficulty curve. Maybe, to a degree anyway. But But that game also has so many missiles that it gets to a point where you could probably... Sorry, I'm about to get this guy. Okay. Whew. Automatic level up, too. So this is that switch that lets you get through now.
So one thing that happened there that kind of annoys me in games is like it only used the like just shooting a straight projectile attack one time, and that's the one that was like messing you up the most.
Oh yeah, random AI.
Yeah. So you kind of like beat that without like actually figuring out how to get around that attack.
Oh god.
I don't like when enemies shoot directly at your position. It doesn't really feel fair necessarily.
If it's slow enough, then it's
These
fine.
guys freaking totally respawn. Oh,
Right.
I remember why I gave this game a 2.5 out of 5 now.
Now go kill the frog again.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating, guys.
Especially in some like Flash game back in the day, as they say. The lazy way to code an enemy. Lazy. But when you just have a projectile that shoots directly at your character, like depending on where you are, sometimes there's just not really a way to dodge it.
Sure, and that's always an issue. They have enemies that shoot directly at your character in ESA though, right?
Yeah, they do. I think they do.
I think it's just a question of whether there's enough time for you to like react to it.
Yeah, it's an AI issue. Like, does it fire when it's right next to you? You know, gives you has to give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
That's part of why I like having fairly long-range melee attacks in like 2D platformers. So you have, like, you can be like right at the edge of your melee range and still have time to react to projectile attacks.
Imagine that you're in a corridor and there's a low ceiling and there's a turret on top of the ceiling at the end of the corridor and it shoots directly at your position. How do you dodge that projectile?
So
You're gonna
that
have to-
scenario, yeah, you can't really do that.
Exactly.
Unless you have like a dodge roll or a parry, so they should design the level so that doesn't happen.
I can read it.
Especially if the enemy repeatedly shoots at you. I don't remember if this is true, but I feel like I complained about this in the first Always game.
Can you like use the green blocks to block projectiles though?
Probably. Like, don't take this as a commitment to me. Because I don't remember. Didn't really care for the game though, actually.
Always is
Yeah.
on the easier side of things, I think, and that can be good or bad depending on who you are.
Yeah, I almost feel like Always Legacy is so much better than Awakening that you can just skip Awakening now.
It seems that way.
I think that Legacy fixed basically all of my complaints about Awakening.
Can you get in 2 hits here?
I have too much lag when I land that I don't think I can. I mean, I don't really want to take that risk. It's possible.
Is there anything that cancels the attack? Like, can you jump to get out of it?
I don't think so. I would have... I mean, I can give that a shot real quick. Let me see.
Don't do it while you're like under assault.
No, when you land, you still have the landing lag. Okay,
Sure.
so this boss does have 2 different telegraphs, so I can actually tell which one he's going to use next, and that'll help me dodge.
So what's to the left of this room?
It's the switch that flips open that door that we went to
Yeah, I mean,
earlier.
like, what's the room to the left of this room?
Yeah, it's that switch. Oh, he's gonna do the attack.
Oh, I thought the switch was just the thing.
No, so
Oh,
there's a
done that.
pipe that I'm opening, and also we're flipping a red switch that opens
Okay.
the door to the castle.
Clearly, I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, well, you guys were talking, and I'm like, I can't think right now. I gotta kill this stupid frog. I shouldn't use these potions. So going up was actually helpful because I did get the potions early on, so that does help. Anyway, I'm getting better.
So potions are consumables?
Yes, and I think they're permanently gone. I don't think there are any shops in this game.
And you can grind them from people?
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and give a shot on maybe looking for a shortcut out of here, because I don't want to have to fight that frog again. This will be the frog stream.
Yeah.
So surprising. Oh, go ahead.
It looks like you're invincible when you do room transitions.
Yes, which I actually noticed that when I was doing my sound test. I'm like, yeah, that's actually pretty good that they thought of that.
So it seems like they very much wanted it to be a fair game.
Yeah.
Oh. You just reminded me, I think it was also Alwa's where enemies, like screen transitions were broken for some enemies, and they would just hang out where you would, like they wouldn't reset their position. They just hang out the edge of the screen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
These guys drop potions. Sweet. Now I can.
First time you've gotten one seems pretty rare. You may want to invest in that luck stat.
Maybe. I usually
bad.
Strength doesn't seem to be helping.
Imagine doing a pure luck stat run in this game.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea.
I mean, he leveled up his strength and it did nothing, so...
Maybe luck is the only stat that actually does anything.
They
But
pulled a
they-
reverse Castlevania.
This game's so much better when you use your own music. Alright, we're actually getting some items from the enemies.
Too bad you didn't get any equipment.
You can equip the potions.
Oh, that's true.
So I don't think Metroid really has an upside down difficulty curve, mostly because the missiles don't really, like, they don't get more powerful or anything like that, and they don't have any straight up damage upgrades with the exception of like getting the plasma beam or whatever. Okay, this factors an HP gain when leveling. Okay, so these both factor in HP gain when leveling.
That's weird.
Damage taken, so this is defense, and then luck is critical hits. So it actually is worth investing in luck, I think. I'm going to go ahead and do a luck point in that. I don't remember what my ultimate build was. Actually, it was only like level 16 when I beat this game. So levels are infrequent.
So when it says a factor in leveling, does that mean a higher strength gives you more HP for each level up?
Right. So you get HP when you level up without investing any stats. And depending on how you invest your stats as you level up determines what your values end up being. Thanks, Silverin, for filling Cactor in. Yes, this is Mortal Manor. Anyway,
So it seems wise to spread your stats out earlier.
yes, if you plan on doing spells at all. It's too bad you're not listening to the music that I'm playing in the background.
Oh, I wish I could.
It's La Mulana. It's
Oh, nice.
playing right now. I made sure that each track I picked was from a different game, so it wasn't too repetitive, and so people weren't confused at what I was playing.
The way to get around this, you could get a music bot in this channel and have it play the music so we could hear it.
Oh, that's true. I should have just given you my playlist.
Yeah. Oh well.
I have a program that's supposed to play my sound through my microphone, but we tried it one night and it didn't work very well, so... Or like it was lagging. It was weird.
But why this game tonight? That's a good question.
So, I talk about this game all the time when I'm talking about difficulty. I'm sure I brought it up on previous streams before, so I thought I would play it just so everybody could see what I was talking about and have an idea of what Mortal Manor is and whether or not it's something you'd be interested in.
I mean, it looks better than Portrait of Ruin so far, so...
Is Future Suture on the stream tonight?
Oh, I forgot. Does he like Portrait of Ruin?
Oh, not Portrait of Ruin. Circle of the Moon is the one I'm
Circle
thinking
Moon,
of.
yeah.
Alright, so now we're inside this area. Whoops. And I don't remember if there's like fall damage in this game or not.
Do the stairs work?
That's a good question. I don't think they do. Nope. I actually didn't even notice them until you said something. So one of my personal pet peeves in Metroidvania games is when you have these blind falls and you have no way of looking down.
Yeah.
I like having a look down button.
I agree. Even if it's subtle.
Alright, then we can flip the switch and go back and save so we don't have to go through the... Oh gosh. Okay, we're invincible right now. Let's see if we can just make it back. I just realized I only have 8 hit points with it, so that was pretty close.
Oh.
Alright, good.
Good work.
Now we can try that again. You know, honestly, I think I remember having a different weapon by this point, Silverin, so it's possible I got a drop from an enemy. There are so many different weapons in this game. Like, this game has so much content. It's crazy. Oh, look, it's the hookshot. Oh no.
Are the weapons actually unique, though?
Yeah, actually, and also they all level up. They all have a level up stat, so right now, my Seeks, how do you pronounce that? Seax? Has,
So? I don't know, it seems strange.
If that's what it is. It has 6 experience points, and when it levels up I can do like a double hit with it, I think. So you can specialize in weapons. It's really robust. It's very ambitious for what this game is. It's just a really good idea to have your own, and enemies respawn. I forgot about that aspect. This is a game where I think it also would have benefited if enemies did not respawn. Oh gosh. How much HP does this thing have? I gotta kill this thing before I go over there, which is gonna take forever, but hopefully it'll be worth it.
Can't jump on that platform with the barrel.
I can, but I need to get that. So if you look to the left of the skeleton over there, you'll see the hook shot.
Yeah.
That's our ultimate goal, and I don't want him to shoot me in the back while I'm grabbing it. So this is more of a safety thing. Of course, I'm probably going to get killed by the bouncers in the room to the left after I get past this.
Seeks.
I have a Kirby song playing and Silverin thinks it doesn't fit. It's okay, it's only 20 seconds or 50 seconds. Alright, now we have the grappling hook, and I don't remember what button I put it on. Oh, there it is. Get. So the grappling hook is like a double jump, but you have to hit a ceiling. So when I was saying,
interesting.
So when I was saying this game has only 2 power-ups, so I'm only allowed to use the grappling hook once in the air, but if I get a second grappling hook, I can use it twice, and so forth. So it's kind of a neat
So
way
you
to...
have like 10 grappling hooks and have 10 jumps.
I think I had 3 by the end of the game, but I think there may be up to 10
Oh.
if you explore a lot, so...
That's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a neat way of... I thought it was interesting, an interesting way to do power-ups. Alright, we're just going to start exploring now, because I don't think we have any specific place we need to go at this point.
I don't like finding consumables, ever.
You don't care for consumables?
No, I cannot use consumables. It's awful.
You have the megalixeritis.
Have you played Bloodborne?
Oh, okay, you can use them in Bloodborne. But every enemy you kill drops like 3, so it's like... I mean, as long as it's not... As long as you're not grinding a boss, they're usually pretty common. You always have a stockpile.
It did still feel pretty bad whenever you like get one as loot from like a chest or whatever. Or I guess not a chest. No,
Yeah.
the equivalent of a chest.
Oh no! Okay, that's
What were the chests in Bloodborne? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
They had chests, just regular chests.
Oh.
Well, that's boring.
What they look like, though, I can't picture it. I can picture the Dark Souls chest. I can't picture a Bloodborne chest.
Well, that was dumb. That was a waste of time. Let's go to the right. We haven't gone to the right yet. I don't even actually remember where like progress is now. I just remember there was a grappling hook over there.
Maybe you can grapple above that enemy's projectiles to the left.
Maybe. Also, grappling hook makes you move a little faster, so that's nice. Get past some of that slow... Oh gosh. I need a shield or something to get past that thing.
Just have to believe.
Okay, so I opened, like a watering thing just now. Like that pipe.
Yeah.
So, and the pipe looks like it leads into the castle, so maybe that's where we need to go. Although the pipe leads off to the left too, so let's go back left.
So, you guys have noticed that blinking thing on the floor, right?
What blinking thing?
In the save room.
Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, that like mouse hole?
Yeah.
I can't remember what that is. I think it might be the fast travel system.
Every time you're in this room, I just find myself staring at it.
I think it might be this game's fast travel system. I think you can shrink down and go in there.
It's interesting.
So yeah, this game has a lot to offer.
It just doesn't want to.
Can you hit enemies with your grapple?
I don't think so. I don't think you can. Anyway, the amount of freedom you get with any movement upgrade in any Metroidvania game is so great.
Yes.
Alright, this dumb skeletons that take forever to kill.
Maybe the skeleton will give you a bone sword.
Alright. Let's go back up here. There's a... That's not worth it, it's just a psi potion. I can't remember if you can mark the map or not. Oh, yes you can. But you can only make exclamation marks, so... So you see that number on the bottom right, the 28 out of 1,139? I think that's the number of rooms.
Oh, that's horrifying. Wait. If every room is filled and this is a rectangle, shouldn't it be an even number?
Maybe. Maybe not every room is filled, or maybe it goes off the map for a couple of rooms.
Oh, it wouldn't necessarily. Like, if it was...
I
like,
I know.
5
Just,
by 5,
it feels wrong.
25.
Alright, these octopus...
Don't lecture me on basic mathematical principles.
There's a thing up there and I want it. I think it's an item, or a weapon. But I also don't want to die. So I think in normal or easy mode, when you die, you appear on the screen? No. So there's instant death spikes in this game, because Kaldaroth loves those.
Yeah.
This was actually the game that made me really question whether or not instant death should be in Metroidvania games. Oh gosh. I don't even know if I can breach that. Oh, I don't have any potions equipped. The fact that the game doesn't pause, I don't understand why the game doesn't pause. Like,
Because Dark Souls.
yeah, but Dark Souls doesn't pause because it's an online game, so it makes perfect sense to me.
So where's the origin on this map?
Oh, back to the save. Origin? You mean the start, or what do you mean?
Like 0, 0. They're coordinates, right?
Oh, okay. Top left. Alright,
That's
so you have
awful.
0, 0, and then
What you would want it to be in the
29
center.
by 39.
Why would you choose the top left, and why would you choose this size of map? That's such a terrible size. 29 by, like, what? Just make it one larger.
Master now
They'd
hates
have
this
to pick
game.
those rooms. That's a lot more rooms.
Oh no, it's impossible, Silver.
Well, when we're playing a game like this, Silver, it kind of is impossible because there's so many things you can relate to Dark Souls here. It's a hard game, and Dark Souls death mechanics, I think, would really help this game.
It's like Crash Bandicoot. How everyone called that everyone compared that to Dark Souls when the remaster came out.
I think that's yeah. See, we're
Remake.
not comparing it to Dark Souls because of the difficulty, though. We're comparing it to it because it has mechanics that would improve this game.
Because of the skeletons.
Because
I think
skeletons.
at this point, it's just become tradition to like mention Dark Souls within the first 5 minutes of the stream.
Yeah.
Dark Souls is relevant all the time.
Kind of, I mean, yeah. It is the watershed game of the decade. Whether or not you like it. Oops. And you absolutely do not have to like Dark Souls.
Too bad people are bad at making Dark Souls clones.
It's really
Or
interesting.
They just shoved Dark Souls mechanics into games without knowing why they existed.
Yeah.
Like in this game where you can't, where it keeps going while it's paused.
Right. This is a tricky. No. No. No.
You have like Doom clones or something, and I mean, a Doom clone is probably still going to be, you know, I mean,
Oops.
they can be terrible, but there are plenty of good Doom clones. But when I think of good Souls clones, I don't really think of much.
The Surge 2 is pretty good.
I forgot to close my window again. Is Surge 2 pretty good?
Yeah.
Nick, my friend Nick's been playing that, who played with us last week, has been playing that recently, and he says he likes it.
And Code Vein is fine for what it is.
I get mixed opinions about that.
I've heard bad things about it. Like it's okay.
Like if you're looking for a difficult game, no, you shouldn't get Code Vein. But if you just want to like look at some anime waifus,
So the music that's playing right now is from Princess Tomato and the
Solid
Vegetable Kingdom.
a vegetable game.
You know what I'm
Sounds-
talking about, that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Man, that's
Combat was basically
rock,
like
paper, scissors.
they said it was rock paper scissors, but it's not at all rock paper scissors. Like the way you play it, like it kind of has the same concept, but then it's just like you point in a direction and they look in a direction.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. Alright, we're going a different direction. I'm tired of that direction.
Okay.
We have that ability now, so.
Yeah, you never went to the like shortcut part of this area.
Yeah. We're probably gonna play this for like another 40 minutes and then we're gonna switch to Zelda. I like how Master began this night with, I can't wait till we play Zelda. As if this is gonna be the worst game ever.
Doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah, I'm enjoying myself.
I like this game, but it really, like, the reason why I bring it up so often is because it's a game that I love to hate because of how difficult it is. But now you know what I'm talking about when I bring up Mortal Manor and punishing difficulty.
So do either of you think that like it's ever a positive thing for the difficulty to be punishing?
Like, that in and of itself?
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
I'm kind of with you there.
I like it when it's challenging, but even I have a line that I draw.
Like, I just won't play roguelikes because their, like, entire thing is punishing difficulty.
Eagle Cave is the name of another Metroidvania. Which Eagle Cave are you talking about? Silverant? Oh, there's another weapon up there. Let's see if we can get it with our grappling hook. That may be a weapon that I used for a long period of time. There we go. Shamshir. Oops. Let's put that
All
in
that
there.
XP!
So I think it's just a stronger sword. It doesn't do any extra damage on those. I don't know if I played Eagle Island. Is that the roguelike one? Oh gosh, get out of the way.
Skeleton.
These guys are all upgraded. I think there might be a save point over here, so I'm going to see if I can find it.
There is, it's probably closer to the boss than the one you were using.
It's possible. Eagle Island had owls, didn't it? I think that the final, or what, like the big, there's a titular eagle in that game, I think, that you eventually run into.
Oh, that sounds fun. I like birds.
I like that game. It's fun.
The games need birds.
Weren't people saying that the main area was a Metroidvania in that game, and then
Yeah, it's a roguelike above all
and
else.
then the other areas are roguelike?
Oh, I remember that game being advertised.
Was it ever advertised as a Metroidvania?
I think wasn't the developer on the Discord at one point?
I don't know, was he?
Oh, you probably weren't there. I think they were, but I could be wrong.
Okay, so this is the boss room? No? I wish I could access my map from my other file.
The boss room is 2 to the left from where you are,
Yeah,
or 3 to the left.
I want to see what that room is to the right before I quit in this area. Whoops.
You're gonna have to kill that thing again if you go right.
I seem to remember you being able to... Whoops. There you go. I think you can use a potion right as you're dying. Like, once you get enough HP, you can use a potion right at the last second and save yourself.
That's cool.
I think you might be able to jump in the water. I'm gonna try it. Gotta hurry, though. Nope, it's death. Nothing to lose there, though. Nope, we're back up against another wall.
Oh no.
And you lost your Shamshir.
So yeah, this is one of those games that really tested my patience over time. It has a lot of things going for it, but you really got to have a lot of patience with losing progress. So let's see. Go ahead.
Oh, I have something completely unrelated to Metroidvanias.
Okay.
So, have you guys heard of the game Robot Odyssey?
Mm-mm.
No.
So it's this DOS game, so on an Apple computer, I think, from 1984, and you have to program these robots to move around and do stuff, like complete puzzles. And it's described as being an incredibly hard game. I just thought this was interesting.
That it's described as being so hard.
Well, interesting that such a programming related game exists from 1984 when there haven't really been many of those games in present day.
It seems like programming puzzles should be more common because any solo game designer is also a programmer.
Right. maybe people who are making games are bad at programming. That explains a lot of what we see in some of these bad games.
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
or they like spend all their time programming and they're like, I don't want to program for during my entertainment time.
Sure.
Like I'm a programmer and I don't really want to play a program. Like I don't play programming games.
Lately, I've been playing Space Chem again, which is a programming game. Sort of.
So my friend knows a financial advisor who really likes EVE Online because
Oh.
it has a great economy, I guess. And to me, that seems like I feel the same way. Like I do financial analysis for my job, and I wouldn't play a game that has you doing financial analysis all day. Well, I say that, but I play all these RPGs where I'm analyzing stats anyway. But but for whatever reason, this guy really seemed to like EVE Online because it was similar to what he does.
I do think it's a cool game, but I haven't played it.
Was there a
EVE
path-
Online.
There wasn't a pathway to the right, was there? Alright, I'm trying to figure out where the best way to go is to be the least frustrated.
How much more damage do you get from this sword?
I don't know, a 2 plus 2? Okay, I made it. Good.
Yeah, but with enemy defenses, is it actually +2?
Well, it has slightly more... Okay, so that's 5 and 7, so it is a little bit more damage.
Nice.
I don't think I can get across that spike pit with only one grappling hook. Maybe. Let's give it a shot.
I mean, dying to those spikes seems like a bad thing to happen. Oh, nice.
Alright, cool. We're in a new area. Spreadsheet simulator. I don't know. I kind of have... You know, the funnest part about my job is playing with Excel. Like, I do have fun with Excel. I have fun programming things... Or programming. Creating spreadsheets that make my job easier.
So programming.
It's kind of programming. It's similar. Yeah, I agree. This enemy's terrible. I hate it.
So it seems like every enemy's that way though. Like just everything has way too much health.
Right. So another game I'm planning on showing at some point, Metamorphose S, is also very interesting, or very similar in that all the enemies are just kind of walls that you have to take down. Oh, I do have to actually save in order to use my points. Okay. I'll give myself some constitution. Some of the music tracks I put into this playlist, I don't think I played the game that they're from. So hearing it, I'm like, what is this from again? I don't remember.
I need to play more Metroidvanias. I haven't played any lately.
Well, Phoenotopia is coming out in a month, hopefully.
It's true.
You could play La Mulana too.
I could. They've been bothering me about that for some reason.
I mean, you have La Mulana like Avatar, and then you haven't even beaten La Mulana 2. You're not a true La Mulana fan.
Oh no.
So mean to me.
Should we talk about not being a true fan of things?
Sure.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
Conversation over. Oh gosh. That's always the funniest thing. You're not a true fan of X because of Y.
Yeah.
I think this is a shortcut down. It's weird that it like wouldn't let me go down if I went left too early. Oh wait, this is a whole other section of the castle. Zombies!
Interesting.
Oh gosh. I don't like the fact that he's called Plague Zombie. I'm afraid he's gonna poison me, and that sounds horrible. Hey, we got a fireball.
Yeah. Poison debuffs. Poison debuffs are either like completely you can ignore them or they will kill you instantly. I feel like sword's the most annoying thing in the video game,
So,
depending on the game.
spells automatically refill in this game. That's cool.
I also like how it's like limited, but it does less damage than your sword.
This does way more damage than my sword. Three whole more damage.
The number on the stats screen says it does less. That thing's obviously a liar.
Well, this thing may be weak against fire, because it is a plant. Maybe?
Yeah.
Although it's called Flesh Tower, which suggests it's not a plant.
Well, it looks like it's metallic, but it's described as being made of flesh. Which is it?
I don't know.
It's both flesh and tower.
It's a meat machine.
Oh, those are interesting enemies. This is a situation where I really like to look down to see if I can just drop down.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You should drop down. You just saved.
That's true.
Yeah. It's interesting. Those moving platforms don't look like they go with this game.
Look at the name of this monster. Sentient Fluff.
It's a cute monster.
Get away from me, Ben.
It also looks not threatening.
You say right before it murders him.
Yeah. I mean, everything can kill you pretty quickly in this game, it seems. Since things will do like 17 damage, then you level up and you get 2 more health.
Yeah.
So you can grappling hook those platforms, that's nice. I'm pretty sure there's a grappling hook in this zone. Part of the reason why I want to be here.
I feel like you get diminishing returns as you get more grappling hooks.
Oh yeah, for sure. 2 is probably all you really need. I don't know that that potion's worth the effort. Oh gosh. Okay, so they are called octafloats. So I wasn't
Potions? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Potions usually aren't worth the effort if you know you're getting a potion.
Oops. Okay, definitely don't want to use my spell on this thing because... I should probably use a potion, come to think of it.
Use a potion to get a potion?
Well, this potion is a, like, stat boost potion, which I don't know if that's going to be any good for anything. Certainly not in the amount of time we're going to be playing tonight.
Is it a temporary stat boost?
Yes. I don't know how long it lasts. It says on the item screen.
Do you think you'll ever play this game again after tonight?
I don't know, there's a chance. 26 seconds. I never liked buffs. They never last long enough. So Phoenotopia. This is going to be the new Dark Souls, Phoenotopia. It has a buff. One of the rewards you can get is a buff song that you can sing. But it lasts 6 minutes, which is amazing. Like, totally worth casting. But it also takes a long time to cast because it's a song. Unless you're just really fast on the draw on that thing. Okay, I seem to remember... If I die again, I'll probably switch to my other file for a bit just to show you what the end game looks like and what an end game character looks like.
We'll just pretend you got through the game today.
I think there is a Flash version of this game, actually. Now that you mentioned Silverant, I think this did originally start as a Flash game. All right, it's going to go to like loud music, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it down in my system real quick, so that I don't blow out your ears when I switch this.
With Dark Souls, I just refuse to use consumables for some reason.
I don't really like using them myself. Okay, so I was level 19 when I ended off, and I used... Okay, so I used the kunai, I guess, and a couple other things.
46% of the map, huh?
Yep, only 46. This is 46% of the map.
Wow. Oh. That's interesting.
So, yeah. Like I said, every single square is covered. Apparently I had a fiery walloon. Let me go ahead and...
Oh, it's a lot of potions. Can you run out of inventory space?
I don't know, actually. I don't know the answer to that. Look how many healing potions I have, though. That goes to show you how hard this game gets.
Oh, how many deaths do you have?
119, it looks like.
Yeah. The screen is chopped off right now.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's because it changed the resolution again, which is dumb. When I die again, it's going to change it back. This is Metroid, the original Metroid. It's playing right now. In fact, I think that's the end of the playlist. No, I have one more after this. And I'll loop back to the top.
When the playlist ends, will you switch to the randomizer?
Are you ready for the randomizer? Is that what you're saying, Master?
I'm just curious. You seem to be about done considering you switched save files.
Yeah, I'm not getting my mana back on this.
You know,
file.
you should explore the new area. Since you're here,
So,
you have more than half the map unexplored.
Okay, so this is the weapon that I used for the end game, and I think I don't have to explain why. It's reach, and then if you hold up after you level it up, you can do this slashing thing, so it can hit above you.
Oh, that's nice.
And then this weapon, I actually don't know why I had this weapon, but I remember using the spear for like everything after I found it.
Does the game put you prior to the final boss after you beat it?
Yeah, I think that the final boss is up in... I'm not going to do the final boss right now because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who wants to do there. But I think this Judgment Room is the final boss. Yeah, Tower of Heaven's playing. That's one of my favorite tracks.
So you never went in the upper right corner when fighting the boss.
I guess I have the... I only had 2 grappling hooks. That's funny. I know I saw at least one other, but I think I probably died afterwards. And you do get a double jump at some point. And then this is the backdash.
Nice.
And a slide. So you can, of course you have to have the Why Can't Metroid crawl ability. Oops, that's not my spear. Oh, these gulp towers have too much HP.
I like how, even in the end game, everything still just has too much HP.
It's harder to kill.
But then they did 0 damage to you?
Yeah, he did. I think I may have like some kind of fire protection or something. So I invested a little bit in luck. I kind of spread my stats pretty evenly with a favor on strength. Yeah, these guys are doing no damage to me. I don't know why. I don't remember why. If I remember correctly, the double jump was really hard to get. I think I did a lot of damage to me just now. I don't remember if this game has any kind of fast travel system. Like, I halfway remember that those, like, mouse holes were... But anyway.
Oh, you know why you didn't take damage? You have a magic barrier.
Hmm.
And it was probably draining from your mana bar before your health.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm trying to find the... Okay, here, over here are the relics. But I think you have to be at your save point in order to equip relics, and that's why... Okay, so the cadet cigarette case, that's what it is. Occasionally prevents all damage, that's what was happening, I think. So you have these little stat boosters that you can equip to make things easier. And that's what I had. Alright, so I decided I wasn't using magic. And use this
So you
instead.
had both?
Yeah. That's the bartering game.
Interesting. Bartering, but there's no shops.
It makes us your items heal more. So these are like charms, like from Hollow Knight. You equip them at the save points, and there's the Hollow Knight, by the way, if you're playing the bingo.
This game does seem to have a lot of content. A lot of stuff that's unique.
Yeah, you seem to be missing a lot of relics, too.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good things about it. So it makes it really hard for me to be like, yeah, don't buy this game. But as you saw, there's just a lot of nonsense on top of everything.
It seems like this is a game you get if you have a lot of time that you're trying to burn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
I waste my time instead of playing video games.
And this is why I use the spear. So I can sit here and stab enemies for a long time. Yeah, let's get out of here.
It's with the 1 damage.
Like many games.
That...
Oh, yeah, I don't know why. I think it's just because I'm using a slashing weapon or whatever. So yeah, I haven't even explored this section of the castle. I think I can just get past this guy? Okay, cool. Oh, naked guy. What the... I don't know what he's doing here.
Oh my god. Wait, I want to know what his name is. I have to hit him.
I have to hit it once. He's like... stinky. Lovato boy?
Lovato boy.
So anyway, yeah, I mean, like, if you have the patience, there's a lot to see in this game. And now I'm gonna die because... Also, when you have the double jump and 2 grappling hooks, there's a lot of jank that you can do, too. Did it just mess up my screen again? No, okay. Anyway, we can switch to the Metroid randomizer. I think we've seen enough of this game at this point.
Because of Lovato boy, I'm adding this to my Steam wish list.
Your goal is just go in and kill Lovato boy 1 time, and then just immediately uninstall.
Oh gosh. That's hilarious.
So earlier, I ate some peanut butter, and then I drank like an entire bottle of water, and I was still thirsty. So I got up to get water. Now the water's just been sitting here on my desk, and I haven't drank any of it.
I'll be back while we're switching.
We should be good now, but yeah, we're good. It's all good. Every time I start this, I always push the wrong button to start. Actually, let me go ahead and load the save state to make sure that we aren't losing anything. Alright, I'm pretty sure this is where we left off. I think I've been using the save state to kind of save everything. You still there, Master?
Yes.
Okay.
Did something happen?
No, I'm just starting.
You just missed me.
So I was just thinking about some of the other topics we had. One of the topics I put on my list was how to get good, and now that we're not playing the game that I actually have to be good at, we can talk about that. Let's go get that crystal. Just finish off the light world real quick. Wait, did I get the thing in the library already? I don't even remember where we left off last time. So how to get good. What do you think, Master?
I want to say practice, but... Sometimes you need to change the way you think about a problem in order to overcome it.
I think that's probably the most important thing. So, I mean, is Caldrath here yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
What are your thoughts, Caldrath?
Yeah, I guess practice is one of the main things, but I guess sometimes when you're having an issue with something, it can be good to like go do something else and try to like develop different but still related skills. So like I was pretty into Street Fighter 2 for a while there, and one of the things that you can do when you're like hitting a wall with a certain character is switch to a different character and learn that one.
Just try something different.
Yeah, like different characters in fighting games tend to emphasize different skill sets. Yeah. But most of them are still like valuable to every single character. So if you switch to a character that emphasizes a different thing, then you're forced to get good at that thing. And then that can apply to whatever other character you were trying to learn.
I think, especially with fighting games, learning other opponent patterns is important just to kind of understand what they have the ability to do. Silverant says pay attention to patterns, which is definitely. I think that's definitely I think that relates to what Master said. That you need to take a step back and consider what your approach is to the situation and figure out what your issue is. And I think that the first step to getting good is recognizing that it's not the game's fault.
But what if it is the game's fault?
Or rather, being able to identify when it's the game's fault. Because there are some games where it is definitely the game's fault. When does that happen? I think... so we're playing Mortal Manor, and I think that game is completely fair. Like, even with that frog boss, you were talking about how he wasn't using the pattern that I couldn't figure out. But after a few times of fighting him, I started to recognize that there was a difference between the way he telegraphs the rainfall ability and the regular shot. And once I realized that, then I could take a step back when he was going to do the one that I had a hard time dodging. So in that case, it was completely my fault for not noticing that initially. And it also wasn't random, but it could have been the game's fault if he telegraphed exactly the same way both times, and so it was a gamble every time I went in.
Yeah, my main complaint is that you were able to beat the boss without actually mastering that.
Sure. I think by the end there, after I had to repeat it again, I got to the point where I was... I don't know if I want to use the word master, but...
You're at least competent.
Right. Like, if he did that attack, I knew to step back, and at least I recognized what the puzzle was. And so I wouldn't call that... Like, I wouldn't call my failure in that boss fight the game's fault by any means.
Yeah, I guess the thing I'm, saying is accidental victories can, feel hollow.
That's true.
So, with bosses, with puzzles, where, you just moved some switches and, the puzzle wound up being solved without you actually figuring out how it worked, can feel pretty unsatisfying.
So just to agree with Silverant, he says seems like a lot of people ignore patterns, and yeah, I think pattern recognition is definitely something you should think about when you're having difficulty with a boss. Take a step back. Another thing I think it's important about getting good is don't focus so much on winning and focus more on the journey.
Yes.
Sometimes when you focus on the goal, you can blind yourself to how to get to the goal. You have to look at the steps in front of you and not just the goal ahead. And I think that a lot of people, when they give up too easily, it's because they put too much weight in that winning is super important to them.
I completely agree about the pattern. And also, sometimes it seems like certain people just won't even pay attention to what they're doing in video games. And then they'll do bad at the video games when they're not paying attention to the game. And they go, I've lost, I'm angry.
It must have been the game's fault somehow. Right.
Alright, so just having basic mindfulness, I feel like, would make so many people just better at video games.
For sure.
But is there a way to focus on being more mindful?
I mean, if you're playing a game, you're also listening to music and a podcast or something, while also watching YouTube in another monitor. Sometimes people will just stack things to do on top of each other, and then they'll lose focus on what the game that they're playing is.
So if you're having trouble, you should try to remove distractions.
Yes, if you're having trouble, if you try to drive better, you need to turn off the radio, as they say.
Actually, I've never heard that. If you drive better, you have to turn the radio off.
You haven't heard of like turning the radio off when you're looking for a street?
Huh. No, I haven't heard that. Although I usually don't drive with the radio anyway, so maybe that's why that's never occurred to me.
Yeah, I didn't word that the best way, but
I know what you're
it's a
saying.
common thing where people like instinctually turn off music when they're trying to look for something with their eyes.
It's funny how that works.
I
Speaking
mean,
of,
that is basically how it works though. If you're using multiple senses, you have less to focus on each one.
speaking of listening to podcasts while playing a game, Diablo 3 is great for that.
Yeah,
It's because Diablo 3 doesn't require a lot of thought while you're playing it.
Right. I used to listen to all kinds of things while grinding out in Diablo 3. I had a friend who that was like the only game he wanted to play. So I played it more than I probably should have.
nothing wrong with playing a game that doesn't require mindfulness, as
Sure.
long as you're using your mind for something else.
In some ways, I actually find it easier to focus on the podcast when I'm playing a game. Just to have something to do with my hands while I'm listening.
Yeah.
It seems like people have an optimal level of like attention that they are paying to just in total. So if they're doing an activity that by itself doesn't require that much attention, then they perform better if they have some slight amount of distraction.
Right.
I think so. I have a theory about this. It's that people will internalize and they will reduce what they have to think about when they're playing a game because they recognize and have memorized patterns. So when you have something else to do and you're not actively thinking about what you're doing, you're just recognizing patterns and responding to them, and that's faster than actively thinking about something.
Yeah, one of the skills that you can develop is being able to do the same task with less focus on that task. So you can if there's something that you're already pretty good at, but you want to get even better at, then you can practice doing it with distractions. So then when you remove the distractions, you have more focus that you can spend on other things, like other aspects of the game.
Perhaps.
So I think Core A Gaming called that intentionality, where you kind of just do things automatically instead of when you want to, for instance, a Hadouken in Street Fighter. When you want to do the Hadouken, you execute it when you want to. And what you're saying is that the goal is eventually to be able to just do it intuitively. So
Yeah, a lot of.
Go ahead.
Just recently, I've noticed a lot of getting good at something is reducing how much you have to think about it. You're not thinking about more and becoming smarter thoroughly, but if you reduce what you have to think about, recognizing patterns, it's easier to do more complicated things. And that's just something I think, if it's true, then it's something a lot of people sort of misunderstand about thought, I guess.
I think another aspect of getting good is don't believe in the myth of talent. That nobody gets good at video games overnight, and nobody has any natural talent without some kind of practice involved. And what follows from that logic is that you can do it, and you have to believe that you can do it.
Well, I think some people can reach certain levels easier, with less effort. It's just they reach that point without having to put as much work in. But anyone can reach that point if they do the work.
Yes, but I think that oftentimes the reason why they have that innate ability is because they've had other experiences in their life that kind of let them get to that point. It is possible that there is some level of just genetic aptitude. I think there's plenty of studies that show that there is some merit to that idea. But the most important thing, the point I'm trying to make, is that if you don't believe you can do it, then you won't do it.
Yeah.
But also, don't lie to yourself. Like, don't sell yourself short.
So,
Go ahead.
I have an interesting, not really a thought experiment, but just something you can do. So, like, take any object around you and just hold it close to your face and stare at it. Observe the object in its entirety. Now that you've done this, keep it in your mind, but also an apple. Think about all the details of an apple. Do you still have the water bottle, in my case, fully in your mind? No, you do not.
The funny thing is I hadn't even decided what you wanted me to do before you said apple. And I'm like, well, the other thing is completely gone now. Oh.
Yeah, so when you... Like, if you're thinking about something that's visual, and then you're also taking in visual information, it's kind of like those share the same... Like, the same part of the brain does that or something. Because if you try to focus on both, you lose details in one or the other. And it doesn't really seem to be possible to fully focus on both.
If you practice, do you think you could do it, though?
See, that's a good question. I don't know.
Well, it's like patting your belly or rubbing your belly while patting your head. You can, I think. I think there's a part of your brain that can be programmed to do things automatically, and I think depending on what the task is, you can do certain things with practice.
It's true. In this case, though, you're consciously observing something and unconsciously thinking about something.
In this particular instance, I wonder if it is possible. Because it is something you're actively thinking about based off of the experiment.
And
it's armpit, and that works.
You can also reach the point where you are like observing more details about the given object. So even as you're like improving at observing the details of an object, you be increasing the amount of focus you can give to that object, and not necessarily reducing the amount of focus required to observe it.
Sure. It's funny how skills work. It's funny how your brain works.
Anyways, with getting good, think smarter, not harder, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're stressing out, I think you're kind of doing the opposite of what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, if you're stressing out about it, you should probably take a break.
And there's always the argument that, games are for your entertainment or they're for your enjoyment. If you aren't enjoying it, then maybe you are going against what the game is there for.
To judge that, though, you have to define what is enjoyment. What am I getting out of this game?
Sure. What is it that you enjoy? I do a lot of frustrating things that I still enjoy.
Exactly. See, for example, Dark Souls. You may be stuck on a boss, but then you're frustrated by the boss, but the satisfaction of no longer being frustrated, it's better than just not having it's better than having not been frustrated in the first place.
But then what about the people who never beat the boss?
Oh, those people are
They
just
just need to
perpetually
get
frustrated. They'll never be happy until they go back to the game and beat that boss.
One of the reasons why I wanted to talk about getting good is because that's like the most dismissive thing that people do on the internet. It frustrates a lot of people when they hear that, or they get really frustrated when they hear it sometimes. I think at this point it's gotten to just kind of a joshing thing that people do with their friends, like, oh, you gotta get good.
It's definitely a joshing thing most of the time, but not all the time.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's just like, well, sometimes it's a person being critical of the game, and the response is, basically, your criticisms don't matter because you didn't get good. I think that that's a little bit toxic.
It is. But sometimes people complain about a game's not particularly hard difficulty as, like, a detriment to the game. Like, as in,
Sure.
someone says it's hard when most people would disagree. That's common with, like, game reviewers or whatever.
Right. Yeah, when I'm... Oh, go ahead.
You would think game reviewers would be better at playing games, since that's
No.
what they do.
I wish.
Yeah,
Do you guys remember the infamous Cuphead gameplay?
No.
It was in the background of, I guess, some critics' review of the game, and it was just this person struggling to, like, make the first 2 tutorial jumps. And then there's, like, the tutorial, you have to jump and then press the dash button in the air, get to another platform, and it took them like 2 minutes to get that down. We'll have to watch it later after the stream. It's pretty special.
I assume that their conclusion is that the game was bad for some reason.
I don't remember if the gameplay even had anything to do with a review.
Oh, so he just had that in the background.
Well,
Because that's what he chose to edit into his video.
I assume it was gameplay that he took. See, I don't remember it particularly well, so I actually need to watch it to make sure I'm not spreading misinformation about it.
Cuphead misinformation tonight. Our Metroidvania podcast.
So anyways, about, like, frustration and overcoming it, there's actually an interesting, there's an interesting study, I guess a series of studies, made about pain. So it's been shown that people, to an extent, people enjoy pain. Like, pain's presence will make people feel more enjoyment, I should say, because having pain and then removing the pain is a net positive enjoyment as opposed to just never having the pain at all.
It's kind of funny how that works.
Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Oh, God.
Basically.
Now I have
Except, actually, no. I hate that saying.
Now I have that weird Data and Picard song stuck in my head that got recommended to me on YouTube once. That's another YouTube video you should look up after this stream.
Yeah.
That's so much homework.
I like how I just spent a key to get a key. Oh my gosh. I don't know if that's a randomizer thing or if that was just how the game was designed, but... But whatever. Sometimes you have to go to a dead end before you know you're going the wrong way.
Inspirational, truly.
So, I want to point out that this game came out in 1993? 1992? 1991? A long time ago. And enemies don't respawn when you leave the screen and come back. Mortal Manor.
I mean, it seems like some of these enemies have respawned.
Oh, they do. They do eventually. This is actually how the original Zelda worked. Is that if you left the screen, I think you had to like traverse like 5 screens or something like that before the enemies started respawning again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, since Moral Manor has like XP and like drops, I think it actually needs to have the respawning enemies because otherwise you wouldn't be able to grind.
That's a good point. And I guess they respawn in Castlevania. It's just an interesting, like, there's so many little things that I think would improve the game a lot, immensely. And I think on that list would be included improve the death mechanics. They're kind of brutal. But you may be right, like, as far as grinding out drops and stuff like that, you kind of have to have the respawn.
The death mechanics are the exact same as Metroid and Castlevania.
That's true. That's true. Except Metroid and Castlevania aren't quite as slow and brutal as that game is.
Considering how often you died in that game, I feel like if most people who play through it die a lot, then it would be better just to save progress after you die.
My preferred method would be to just have it like Axiom Verge, where you lose nothing on death. But I mean, having some kind of drop, like your experience points or whatever, you know, basically just make it like Dark Souls, would help a lot. It would make exploration a lot more fun, I think.
It makes sense. It seems like the game is punishing enough, though, to where, like, just surviving at all.
Sure.
I mean, you know, you probably don't need to punish people for dying. Since it seems so tedious to get back to where you were.
Yeah.
It is interesting that you are suggesting using the Dark Souls system to make the game less punishing, when most people are like talk about how punishing the Dark Souls system is.
I always thought that was ironic, because Dark Souls has like one of the least punishing systems in my opinion. I mean, the only way it could be less punishing is if you kept your souls.
Yeah.
It's because people will lose their souls. Like, they'll die, and then they'll go try to retrieve their souls, and then they'll lose them. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, this is awful. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. This game has awful punishing systems. And, sure. Like, I feel like they would have less of a reaction if they just didn't have the opportunity to gain them back. It just hurts that much more that they squandered their chance at getting their stuff back.
Well, you also lose what you had before you saved if you die twice.
You also what?
You also lose what you had before you saved if you die twice. So in the case that you had a bunch of stuff saved and then died twice, it is more punishing. Just like every other case, it's less punishing.
Is that gate open?
Perhaps.
I can't shoot these guys. This is like one of those weird pseudo 3D things they tried in this game. I think part of it is that people look at the souls as progress, and when you lose them, they suddenly lost all that progress, and people don't like losing progress.
That's true, when in reality, you don't actually need those souls.
No, the game is designed well enough that you don't need them at all. Also, the earlier you die twice, as you're in the process of getting good, the less relevant the souls are at all, because the earlier in the game, the less valuable, or the less meaningful the souls are in the long run, because you're getting so few of them, I think, by comparison.
Well, sure, but later levels require you to have more souls, and also harder enemies drop more souls. So, I mean, you could argue that there's a sort of steady progression.
Right.
where you get more souls, but then you need more souls, and then it kind of balances out.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of creates a negative feedback loop if you start losing souls.
I bet the reason so many people complain about souls. Hunter, can you guess what that encounter is?
Which one are you talking about? Or you're saying there's a specific encounter that makes you hate souls, or?
No, I think people hate. Like, I think when people will complain about losing their souls, it's because of one area in the game. Well, maybe two. But the Hellkite Bridge.
Oh, sure.
When after you beat the boss and you push forward and then you just die to some dragon on a bridge.
Sure.
That has to be where like people's seated dissatisfaction with losing souls comes from.
So I'd like to point out a good game design element here. You have these dumb whack-a-mole things, but they also have these enemies that you have to kind of learn how they get knocked over by your hammer at the same time. Just kind of neat. Little game design thing.
That Mega Man X style of tutorials.
Yeah. It's always
We've
fun.
also sorry.
It's always fun to notice stuff like that, is all.
I agree. There's also in Dark Souls that first Seath encounter where you're forced to die. And it's
Yeah.
unlikely that you'll get those souls back.
That's true.
But I mean, you didn't just defeat a boss or anything. You just had whatever souls you grabbed from enemies on the way there, which I don't think was that many.
Sure, if you were stacking humanities, though, that could be a problem if you didn't know that was coming.
Yeah.
You can make the argument that Seath isn't fair. And I don't know that I would disagree with it. You do have the opportunity to get your souls back if you make your way all the way back there.
I do think it's cool how, that just random, like, one-off thing happens in the game. And, it's just interesting when games have sequences that are different from the norm.
Yeah, it's a neat little subversion of expectation.
Not enough games really try hard enough to do that.
It's been done for a long time. Like Super Metroid was all about subverting expectations. If you had played the original Metroid, there's a lot of moments where they specifically are trying to subvert your expectations if you played the original Metroid.
Yeah, like Mini Kraid, Baby Kraid, or yeah, White Kraid.
Yeah, Mini Kraid and Big Kraid, yeah. Or Craig, as I like to call him.
Craig.
So I wrote my entire Metroid 1 review, and for whatever reason I put Craig instead of Crane, and it was the most embarrassing thing.
Oh, I'm so happy I've learned this information.
It was just
you have not told me.
Completely. Well, I mean, I've edited the review, so it doesn't have it anymore. But I don't try and hide my mistakes. I correct them, but I don't try and hide them.
But you deleted the original version of your Always Legacy video.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't know, but we're talking about it now, so it's not like I'm trying to hide it either.
True, but
Cut the stream! They can't hear this!
No, I don't believe in hiding my mistakes. You should always be able to own up to them.
Yeah, it is annoying that you can't edit YouTube videos.
It is really annoying. So you can cut off the beginning and the end of it, I guess. I found out afterwards. It has some rudimentary editing tools. I think you can cut parts of it, but I don't think you can change parts of it. So in that instance, I might have been able to just cut that part out. But I'm still relatively new to the whole YouTube thing, so I did not know that aspect.
So subverting expectation What Metroidvanias do this well?
So
Besides Super Metroid.
Super Metroid did it, and Metroid 2 did it. I mean, as far as Metroidvania is doing it, I think that both of those, the Metroid series kind of pioneered that. And yes, Phoenotopia Awakening's video review is coming out this Friday. I'm excited for it. I think it turned out well. But other games that subvert expectations, ESA does it a lot, I think. Would you
maybe agree? What expectations does it subvert exactly?
I think that just going through the fire area without the fire suit is one example of that.
Right, that's the big one.
That's the first one that comes to my mind.
All the sets of blocks where like you need a new ability to break them, and then you break them, and then get past them, and then there's immediately a different set of blocks for an ability you don't have yet.
I don't remember this.
That's subverting expectations. There's so many parts of that game where it does that.
You sound angry.
I'm a little angry about that.
I don't remember too much of that. But also when I played recently, I already had a general idea of where to go, because I'd started I'd played through to the final boss previously.
Like, that was the main thing that I remember disliking about that game. Which, in the grand scheme of things, isn't that bad.
It's a good thing that, like, in comparison to the game's playtime, I guess, there's only a very short window where you will have one movement ability but not the other. Because of all the post-game content. And, just the timing of the upgrades.
Alright, I want to be in the Dark World. Because I want to check Link's house. Or I guess it would be Zero. What the? Come back here, bird.
Wait, Link has a house?
Yes.
Well, it was his uncle's house, but...
Yeah, he's like living with his uncle. That's such a weird... Like, what happens to... Why do parents always have to be dead in these games? There's so many protagonists that the parents are dead. Like, I was actually thinking about that when I was editing my Phoenotopia Awakening review. I'm like, she comes from an orphanage, and like, which is such a typical trope that the parent always has to be dead. And I don't know why you can't go on an adventure while your parents are still alive.
Yeah, like, I can kind of see that you'd want to, like, not have those ties for the character. But then, like, Phoenotopia, their parents are dead, but they have all these other orphans that they have this, like, relationship with. And actually, wait, all the adults get
abducted by aliens. And that's not a spoiler because it is on, like, the store pages and stuff, so I don't consider that a spoiler.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I was hesitant there, but yeah, so they kind of do lose their parents right at the beginning.
So, parents being dead actually lowers the stakes.
Yeah, maybe
you have to live for if you make it out alive, and you're a child, and like, what are you gonna do after your adventure? Whereas if you're in danger and you have a loving family to return to, you want to stay alive, or...
Oh gosh, you can just buy the thing? Jeez, I'm gonna do it.
It's kind of like a dumb thing to talk about, but...
No, I don't know. I just think it's an interesting trope, and just kind of thinking about why it's a trope is interesting to think about.
Yes.
I don't think you can go up to get to the castle. I think you have to go around in the Dark World. Yeah.
So what is the bomb that's following you?
So there's one wall that you need this bomb in order to break. I find it interesting that they didn't like randomize this in any way. I guess there's no way they could have. And then, so you need this bomb in order to break that wall. and it's up by the Ganon's castle. Or pyramid, I guess. I'm not even sure you can call it Ganon's castle.
Yeah, whose castle is it?
So the whole premise behind the Triforce is that it grants wishes, and I guess Ganon formed this world into his liking, but he also put a fairy fountain in a secret bombable wall underneath his castle for no reason. I don't remember the specifics, and this game doesn't, or this particular game doesn't have a good translation for it. Oh, they just have treasures here. Neat. I think that's just super missiles. What? Apparently you just throw things in when you talk to her. I love how... This is another weird Japanese trope. So is that it? So they just give you 2 items and then you can throw your bottle in for magic potions?
Oh.
Let's see if I can do it again. What? Did I have more than 1 bottle? Alright, we're gonna play with this for a bit and see what happens.
Why are great fairies in Zelda so weird?
Well, this is the Dark World version of the fairy, so that's why she's like a pig thing.
I mean, I just mean in general, it seems like they're usually scary.
Okay, so apparently they changed that, so you just get 2 items. But we got a sword upgrade, so that's cool, right?
That is cool. What sword do you have now?
I had the Tempered Sword.
Wow.
Alright, so what I'm looking for now, as I know there's other entrances into Metroid, and speaking of which, we only have 3 dungeons left in Zelda now. There are other entrances into Metroid from the Dark World, and I don't think I found any of them. But they'll lead to sections of Metroid that we wouldn't normally be able to access. So I'm trying to figure out which of these caves might be it. I'm going to check that witch's house and see if that's one of them.
At this point, what can't you access in Metroid? What are you lacking?
I don't have the space jump, and I don't have the speed boots, and I don't have the high jump. I just got the spring ball, which does nothing for us as far as progression is concerned.
What suit do you have?
I don't think we have... No, I think I have the Varia suit, so we can go into the fire areas now. So that's probably where I'll head once we get to Metroid. It's possible that the best choice is to try and continue doing Zelda content.
Yeah, but there's just so much Zelda content.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm like, hey, let's just do some Zelda for a bit, or some Metroid for a bit.
You know, this is a Metroid / Zelda randomizer, but everything takes place in Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda's just a much bigger game. I'm gonna go ahead and... No, I don't want to save yet.
That's sad.
Let's go ahead and save the save state just in case something goes awry.
Yeah, once you save state, you can never stop.
Yeah.
It's true. So anyway, I mean, I don't want to say anything more about Phoenotopia and the orphanage for spoiler reasons, but in other games, it's just interesting to me that... So I don't think we could have gone this way before, so I guess we can explore this area. Parents are always dead. Chrono Trigger, his mom's alive. What happened to his dad? Do we know that? Did they ever explain that in that game?
I don't recall them ever talking about his dad.
So,
maybe they're, when the character's parents are dead, they're appealing to the rebellious teens who are buying their video games, who wish their parents were dead.
it's possible. I think that Squall was invented as a reflection of its players. Final Fantasy VIII.
Are any Final Fantasy games worth playing?
What do you think, Caldroth?
So I I used to love Final Fantasy. Like, I played every single Final Fantasy game until 13 came out. Like, including Final Fantasy Legends, Final Fantasy Adventure, Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I had played all of those, and then eventually I was just like, you know what? I'm done with turn-based RPGs. But I did play Final Fantasy 15, and I actually enjoyed that.
Oh, that's good. That's one of those controversial games as far as people enjoying it or not. I wonder if that is an entrance to the Dark World or into the Super Metroid.
So, do you guys know how those deck builder roguelike games have become popular in like a mini genre?
Right.
What if? Do you think someone could make a deck builder Metroidvania?
That's a good question.
You mean Circle of the Moon?
So that's okay. So what makes it a deck builder game? That all of your attacks are based off of cards, right?
Perhaps.
So
I actually don't know.
what? I mean, okay. So I guess another question is can you have a Metroidvania game with turn-based combat? Does it negate it from being a Metroidvania for any reason?
Is Monster Sanctuary a Metroidvania?
I think it says Metroidvania on its store page, so apparently the developers think so.
So clearly it has to be one.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily confirm or deny it. I'm just saying I seem to think so. Yeah, I mean, Monster Sanctuary is obviously one. Indivisible, I think, has a maybe turn-based thing, and most people on the store page who do their reviews say that it's sort of Metroidvania-ish, so...
So combat is basically the same as Valkyrie Profile, if you've played that.
Yeah, and then there's Exist Archive that's exactly the same thing. I think it's actually made by the same people as Valkyrie Profile. Which I have and would like to review at some point if I can finally get some open time to do that.
I've played very few RPGs or turn-based games. I should really get on that.
Okay, so I have been here.
Yeah, the Valkyrie Profile combat system is kind of like a little bit of a hybrid between being turn-based. Because, like... Well, I guess it's similar to how Super Mario RPG is, where, like, you do your attack and then, like, there's a bunch of, like, stuff that you can do action-wise during the attack.
I was going to say, oh, is it anything like Bowser's Inside Story? Because that's, like, the only one of those games I've played.
My understanding is the Mario and Luigi games follow the Mario RPG formula pretty strictly. I may be wrong on that. I haven't played any of them.
I believe they do.
Anyway, if you're going to play any Final Fantasy game, you should probably play 7. And then 6 is probably the next one I would recommend. I actually like 6 more, but 7 is kind of one of those that you kind of have to play it to know what everybody's talking about, you know? And also, you can understand that everybody who tries to make content for Final Fantasy VII didn't understand what was good about Final Fantasy VII these days.
Maybe.
And
Is the remake good?
Of course, that's obviously my opinion. I haven't played the remake yet.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Interesting.
The remake doesn't cover the entire game.
Coach,
So far.
Coach from the Metroidvania Discord seemed to like it, so...
Yeah, but he likes everything that's, like, Japanese.
So the interesting thing about, like, the part of the original game that they did for the remake is that's probably like 2 or 3 hours into the game that it covers, but then they've like expanded it a lot.
Yeah, they made a 30-hour game out of 4 or 5 hours of the original.
It is interesting. It's one of those games that I really don't want to play, specifically because people are talking about it, and some of those people are annoying.
Well, I mean, you know, you're gonna find annoying people in every genre, including Metroidvania, so... Wait a minute. Didn't I have one of the staffs that would let me get through this?
Are we allowed to make Pedro references on the stream?
Which references?
Pedro references.
Oh, Pedro. Oh gosh. I don't know. I mean, he could be watching.
It's true. Could be
Dedicated
the
to
one other
farming.
viewer right now.
I'm trying to think of what reference you would make right now. I'm afraid to ask.
Oh, just about people being characters.
Oh, sure.
Because, everyone on the Discord just loves talking about
Oh,
like the two characters we've had on the Discord.
I am underwater. Why am I underwater?
Oh,
We found a way to Metroid, but we can't use it.
that's awful. That's the worst place that could have been.
Oh.
And you've been here already too.
I don't think I have. I think that somehow I had the map for it. I don't know what happened there. Maybe this game just gives you all the map.
Maybe. Aren't some of these kind of two-sided? Like, if you came through that place in Zelda from another way, would you come out the other side of that door?
I don't think. I think that it just leads to, like, that one's just a two-way portal. I don't think that there's any, like, shenanigans going on. Alright, well, there's that. Let's try and knock out this other dungeon. I don't know if I'm ready to go back to... I know that you want to go back to Super Metroid, but I don't think we have enough powers to progress in Super Metroid at this point. It's possible we'll find things in the fire area that will help, but...
It's still sad that you've been to one room in Metroid today.
Well, if we knock out all the dungeons in Zelda, then we won't have much else to do to try and power up for Metroid.
Let's see, what other topics do we have for today?
Scoring systems. And by that I meant, obviously, why Metroidvanias don't have scoring systems. Like, why don't they give you points when you play? Like, the original Metroid had it. How come they
I mean, it has a percentage at the end.
I'm actually talking about, like, review scoring systems, but...
Oh. I mean, you could say that the completion percentage is the score of the Metroidvania.
Well,
Yeah, that's actually probably true.
There's some of them that score you on the boss fights. Ready, Ruby.
You're reminding me that I was supposed to play Valda's Story in November this year, and I didn't because I was too busy playing Batbarian and Biomass.
Yeah, I don't like being scored in video game. It's just not something... I mean, it's not terrible, but when I'm playing a game... If I'm playing a game like Devil May Cry, and it's like, oh, you got a B rank on this encounter, that just upsets me.
I think that my biggest issue with scoring systems is when they tie them to missable items.
I prefer the challenge of the game being, like, beating the content at all, opposed to, like, perfecting a speedrun of the game or whatever to get a perfect score on the level.
So Silverant says it's amazing when you pull it off, though, and that's where I was going to disagree. That I actually do like scoring systems when they're done well. Like any game design mechanic, it just depends on how they do it.
Yeah, like I like it when it's not tied to any item.
So,
or if you can replay it to try to get the item like another time.
One of my favorite guilty pleasures is Super Stardust HD, which as far as I know is only available on the PS3. And that's totally a score-chasing game. Very rare for me to find a score-chasing game that I enjoy as much.
See, I do enjoy arcade games that have scores, usually. Not that I really play much of them, but, like, you know, I could see myself sinking some time into, I guess, Metal Slug. Just, like, trying to get a really good score. Just, you know, getting better at the game. So.
And as far as like Devil May Cry, I actually kind of like the style system in that game, and Involve's story for that matter, which is basically the Metroidvania Devil May Cry. Although that's going to change with Vernal Edge. There's going to be competition there.
Oh, actually, programming-based video games that I've been playing lately have scoring systems in them where it will, like, how many symbols you've used, or how long your program takes, how long the code is, that kind of thing, and it compares it to like the average of other players. You can see the spread of how good they did, so it really pushes you to optimize your program. So I enjoy that kind of scoring.
I have briefly played Human Resource Machine. Actually, I think a game you would enjoy, Master.
I was actually talking about that game earlier. It seems to have some problems with it that make it inferior to just
Space
7 Zachtronic games that I own.
There's a Zelda meme on YouTube. Oh gosh, no, not this room. I hate this room so much.
Yeah, and apparently some of the programs in the late game, like, they literally take several minutes to run through on the maximum speed. And then they'll troll you just by like adding an edge case at the end, so then you have to like go through your several minutes of program just to get to it to see if it works. That's not okay.
I hate that room with the spiral. This is the dungeon that sticks out in my mind as the dungeon that likes to waste your time the most.
Maybe I'm just hating on Human Resource Machine when I haven't played it. It's actually a decent game. Who knows?
It's made by the same people as finally a key. It's made by the same people as World of Goo. I like
This is
World of Goo a lot.
Talking about that game because of World of Goo. One of my friends is playing Baba Is You, and they made a deal that they would stream Baba Is You if I streamed World of Goo. So I'm waiting for a sale on that game to purchase it.
Oh. It's good, Train. World of Goo is good.
I actually played it a long time ago on WiiWare.
That's actually where I have it, is on WiiWare. I actually think I picked it up on some bundle for PC eventually, but that's where I have it, is on the Wii U, or the Wii. I guess it would be on my Wii U now.
It was on some old Wii account that I may or may not actually know the credentials for, so... And plus, I wouldn't really want to go attempt to log into some random Wii account with one game on it.
And Silver, I don't remember if it was free on Epic or not, and maybe. Epic's given out so many free games over the...
Actually, if it is, I could check. I've probably actually grabbed it, because I've been grabbing most of their free games.
Yeah, aren't they giving out a free game every single day for the rest of the month?
Yeah, for 21 days or whatever. Or, no, it's like 15 days or something. Starting tomorrow, they're doing their Christmas giveaway. Where they're going to give out Mass Effect Andromeda and Borderlands 3 and Horizon Zero Dawn, according to one of the leaks that came out.
Oh, don't trust that, please.
No, I know. It's probably not going to be what it actually is.
Most people I talk to have good sense of, like, when a leak is probably legitimate, but then people will just... Like, these same people occasionally will just post the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And it's like, there's no way that's true, you know that.
Right.
I start judging the intelligence of my friends and then myself.
With Epic Games, most of the time when they've given away a free game, it's when it debuts on their store. So them giving away Borderlands 3 doesn't make sense to me. Especially since that's been it was an Epic exclusive for so long. I think it just barely released on Steam.
Is there one swear word this stream? Like, is there an allotment?
What What is it you want to swear about?
I think it's just try to avoid it, and then if you accidentally do, then it's not the end of the world.
Sure.
Okay.
It's a key. And a stupid bunny rabbit thing. Oh great, I get to be a Metroid for like 3 seconds. Such interesting
What?
gameplay.
Oh my hecking gosh. I actually do own it on Epic, so I don't need to buy it on Steam.
Neat.
Thank you for saying that, Silver.
Silver, you just saved Master like $5 on the sale. This is like the oddball pull the tongue.
I need to actually remember the games I have on Epic before I like buy them on Steam, because this has almost happened several times.
I actually prefer to have it on Steam anyway, so even if I do buy it on Steam and find out I had it on whatever other platform, I'm like, whatever.
I obviously prefer it on Steam, but I mean,
Sure.
if it's like a $20 game or something, I'm not gonna buy it again just to have it on Steam.
If I remember I have it on one of those platforms, I definitely don't buy it, but like... it's like somebody bought me a 20XX for my birthday, and I got it on Epic, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? Steam's better. Plus, I can play with him on Steam. He's like anti-Epic, so he wouldn't have played it with me on Epic anyway.
Oh yeah, I have Cave Story on Epic Games.
Yeah, that was like last week,
Yeah.
or a couple weeks ago. You don't even need Cave Story on any platform though, because you can still get it for free, and it's the same game except for minor graphic upgrades that don't really matter. And
I actually should play Fez. I own that on Epic Games.
And people will tell you not to support Nicholas anyway, because apparently they're not very nice to their employees. This is an allegedly thing. I have not sat down and verified it.
You seem so scared to hit those things with your sword.
Yeah, because they hurt really badly.
Only if they have the electricity out.
I know, but I don't like waiting. Plus, there's plenty of times that they immediately start going electric when I push the button to swing the sword. It's not telegraphed well enough for me to risk it, especially when I have the hook shot that takes them out.
Maybe the game knows.
Yeah.
It knows that you're going to push the button.
Like, I haven't discerned any sort of timing. I'm gonna die. That's okay, we'll go back to the entrance.
Well, they won't. If they've just done it, then they won't do it again immediately.
I need to save anyway. It's been a while since I've saved. This is the one time you need the fire rod, and I think it's just this room, and then never bring it up again.
Gear check.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a lot of stuff like that in this game, where it's basically just like a one-time key, and then for the rest of it, you're just better off using your sword. Although I'm disproving that by using the hook shot so much to avoid those stupid jellyfish. So what do you think of these spoken hub rooms like this?
That seems like another way it wastes your time a lot.
This whole dungeon, I don't like this dungeon at all. This dungeon, and I think it's the town dungeon, are reasons why I don't like Link to the Past as much as I like other Zelda games.
This does seem annoying.
Unfortunately, this may be the rest of the night because of how dumb this dungeon is. I just do not like this dungeon. Okay, so that'll take us here. I'm going to try going right first because I don't want to have to go through that. Oh good, I'm glad that that button opens and closes. Oh wait, I can't go right. Alright, problem solved. So you have to go through this little gauntlet of spikes and conveyor belts so many times, repetitious.
And you even have to re-bomb the floor.
Yep, you do. So yeah, you also have a resource cost that could cause you to have to go and grind at some point.
Like, yeah. Well, I guess there's that one bomb there, but you need at least 2 bombs to finish this room.
I think that that's the only way you can kill these things. It's possible you can use the hammer to knock them out. I don't know.
Bombs seem easy.
But the annoying thing is this stupid room.
Yeah, it does seem annoying.
Don't walk into the spikes.
Just get good. It's okay. We've already talked about that. You know how to do it.
Know what I really dislike? When I purchase or receive a game from Humble and then it's given away for free on Epic Game Store. I feel like I just wasted my not actually buying the game opportunity.
Sure.
To own it before it was free.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like, there's just certain things that, like, if you thought it was worth it when you bought it, then that is how much it was worth to you. But then again, there's also the argument that if you don't play the game ever, then it was worth $0 to you in the first place.
I mean, if you buy something and then it just sits on your shelf forever,
Why?
it's not much different.
I hate this dungeon so much. Oh my gosh, I just wasted a key for no reason. Ugh. Alright, and then
This, that looks awful.
and that room up there is, there's just so many tricks in this dungeon that, like, I guess if I looked at my map, I probably could have discerned that, okay, I've been in that room before, but, oh, I find that irritating.
Where we go now?
So there's a meme on YouTube, Link versus Stairs or something like that, and it has, because you have to be, like, perfect to get in there. It's hilarious. You should go look at that meme. Oh, I guess I have to use the fire rod here. I lied.
That does look awful.
And then I think I need to bomb this section here to get the... Okay, I do have the big key. Where's the boss door? Oh, I know from falling down there earlier that this is where I need to be. Be something that Samus could use. Space jump. Key? Oh my gosh, let's get out of this place. I am ready to leave. Where is the boss room?
Should we start wrapping it up after this dungeon?
Oh wait, there's the boss door right there. Let's get through that door. Let's get out of this place. I don't even care. Just let me out. There's probably treasure I'm missing. It's probably the space jump or something like that. But I just want to get out of this dungeon at this point. Come on. There we go. Like, I kind of want to know what's down those holes. Okay, so those holes right there are going to be fairies, which I could probably use right now.
You really coulda.
Yeah. Oh gosh. What? This room's going to have a key in it, I bet. And we get to be on Metroid for a second because I'm not going to be able to dodge this thing. Hey, at least the Metroid's cute, right?
It's extremely cute. Why wouldn't you want to be a baby Metroid?
Okay, just checking to see if there's a bomb on the wall in this room.
Maybe in Metroid Prime 4, you will be able to turn into a Metroid.
Do I need this staff to complete this dungeon?
Maybe you just play the Metroid the entire game.
Be awesome.
Ted
So
Bailey?
why is it that the pot that's already sitting on the button doesn't activate it?
You're trying to apply a logic to a game that has whack-a-moles in their dungeons.
It's not heavy.
Okay, so that's the exit. Oh gosh, why? It's all of Professor Q's favorite monsters.
See, that's some unfair difficulty.
Yeah, I had enough time to get out of the way before they actually damaged me.
It looked like you got damaged like while you were in the animation.
I don't think I was.
Now here's a question. Is it unfair to force the player to take damage?
It depends on the game. It depends on how much damage will set you back.
In that case, the ESA like heat room area is unfair.
Right, yeah, based on that argument. Do I need to use the fire rod on this? It doesn't seem like he should have that because it costs mana.
Does the shaking mean that it's working or that it's not working?
I don't know. I just used all my mana though, and he's dead.
Well, okay.
It's only unfair if you don't like it, right?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't like this at all.
It's unfair.
I'm tempted to save state just to avoid this dungeon.
Please
again.
don't. You have to get good.
Oh no! Oh no! Freaking!
But in this case, there's an alternative to getting good.
Why?
Cheating.
Oh no! Okay, so
Have you
let's
died?
talk about those falling blocks or those falling things. Technically, I can get all the way out of the way. Oh gosh, it's a good thing I have all of these green potions.
It doesn't look like there's any way for you to determine whether they will go diagonally or not diagonally.
So I'm not going to say that just yet because I was just thinking that maybe they alternate between diagonal and the plus, like back and forth. But I agree that if it is random, then yeah, that's completely unfair. Alright, so trying to remember which direction do I want the red-blue bubble to be when I go back in there. And then they make you do this every time. So you know how I was talking about how Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is my favorite of the top-down Zelda games?
Yes.
One of the reasons is they have a teleporter that takes you to the mini-boss's room at the beginning of the stage after you beat the mini-boss. It's something that they added in that game.
I remember that existing in games that I've played, but I don't remember which game. Can we talk about puzzles? I want an excuse to talk about puzzles.
Well, we're playing a puzzle game. I don't see why it would be irrelevant.
What makes... I mean, we kind of already talked about this before, but... What makes a puzzle satisfying?
So, on the subject of talking about things before, I think that there's plenty of times that we talk about things and we have time to think about it after we've talked about it, so I don't think it's bad to bring up old subjects again.
I agree, I just have nothing new to add. I just have been enjoying puzzles lately.
Oh, okay. So you just want to gush about puzzles, is what you're saying.
Basically. I mean, Silver wants us to talk about puzzles, so...
Okay, well, we definitely have to now. What makes them satisfying? I think that it's the same thing as just defeating a... I can't believe I just fell down that pit. Like a really challenging boss. It's the same concept that you have accomplished something, but it's a different kind of accomplishment. Like it's the mental stimulation of, oh, I figured this out on my own. That's a good question. What is your favorite puzzle game, Master?
That's a very hard question that I don't have an answer for. Because there are different kinds of puzzles.
It's not Baba Is You?
I mean, it's probably Baba Is You. But I don't want to diss other puzzle games that I also really like.
Baba Is You is my favorite. Baba Is You is my favorite puzzle game right now. Let me think. What are some great puzzle games that I played? I really enjoyed Barbarian. That's a different kind of puzzle, though. Celeste is almost like a puzzle. That is part of what makes it so good, I think.
I mean, any good video game is probably like a puzzle.
Yeah, I think that's a mark of what makes a game good. Alright, I'm gonna take a risk here.
Baba Is You is special because every puzzle pretty much is like, it's a new concept. It doesn't feel like you're solving the same thing, whereas with some other games, it may feel like you're solving the same thing.
Why is this wall cracked if you can't bomb it?
If you have multiple puzzles of the same type, or something.
Yeah. That's one of the things about this dungeon is it looks like there's a lot of cracks that aren't actually bombable.
I don't know if this is the worst dungeon in the game, but it's a candidate.
I mean, you do seem to hate it. Seems like it does a lot of annoying things, like forcing you to become a Metroid.
It just
forcing you to go through areas you've already been in.
Too many blind passageways that you couldn't possibly know unless you had been there. Although technically the one that caught me last time, I could have looked at my map to avoid. Right now what I'm looking for is a bubble thing. What do you call it? The switch bubbles? Because I want to be able to open up all those secrets, and it doesn't look like it's in this way, so... Hopefully this guy will let me come back.
So what is the best kind of puzzle? One with a singular solution or one with multiple solutions?
Well, if you ask my friend Nick, he would say that the open puzzles are better, but I don't necessarily agree with that. And,
I would say that they are distinct, relate different parts of you. I mean, if you know that it's an open-ended puzzle, as in like it's a programming puzzle or something, versus just the puzzle having like 3 solutions, like in Baba Is You. That's that's not what I mean. I'm referring to the programming type of puzzle, because a lot of that comes down to optimization. Just because you've done a thing doesn't mean you've done it well, and you're trying to do it well.
That's where the physics puzzles have the biggest advantage, yeah.
Physics puzzles. The thing with physics puzzles is that physics in games are often janky.
Yeah, it usually winds up being kind of unreliable. Like, you might know what the solution to the puzzle is, and it just doesn't work right.
I knew I was going to regret coming into this room.
I haven't actually played, apart from like some random Flash game before, I haven't really... And of course Baba Is You. I haven't played Sokoban. Yes, I mean, similar puzzles usually appear in video games, though.
So on the subject of Celeste...
I don't like block puzzles, but I do like some puzzles with blocks. Hard to explain. Anyway, Celeste.
Isn't Baba Is You basically all block puzzles?
Yeah, it is, and I love that game. But then there'll be like random block puzzles in another game, and I'll be like, ew, block puzzles.
Depends on how it's handled.
They're also just like one of the most generic puzzles that you see in a video game.
So, Master's been playing Steven's Sausage Roll, actually.
Yeah, I have. I've been playing it on my laptop when I can't sleep in the middle of the night, so I haven't been very productive lately with the puzzles.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm on the 3rd zone, I guess you could call it.
I'm really trying to figure out where do I get a red-blue bubble in order to access some of that stuff. Because I'm really worried there's a treasure there that I want to make sure I get. I think that's a one-way door, so I don't want to go that way. Is this going to lock me out? Oh, it did. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I have 3 or so puzzles there, and they're all like hard, and I haven't made progress on them. Have you heard of Snakebird? Anyone here?
I think I have.
You posted that Snakebird Baba Is You thing.
I did. Years ago, I got Snakebird, like when it came out on the App Store, and it was kind of amazing. and I never really got far in it. But I've been meaning to pick it up on Steam so I can play it again. And then, yeah, there was that Baba Is You thing where someone recreated the first level with all of its rules in Baba, which was interesting.
Okay, let's try and end this dungeon because I think we're up on our time here. Come on, come on.
Yeah, it's important for a good puzzle. I guess at least this kind of puzzle game, it should introduce a new concept in each puzzle. And if it's just repetition of stuff you already know, or if it's just the same thing but more, then it's completely uninteresting, and it can ruin a good puzzle game if you just have extra puzzles for no reason. But then, of course, sometimes extra puzzles can be a good thing. You know, having more content to do that maybe isn't required. Or, you know, like, you could argue that something like Sudoku is just the same puzzle, but again, it's a different kind of puzzle, I guess.
I think maybe you're supposed to have the skeleton step on that button for you, because I don't think you're supposed to have the block spell at this point. But as long as we have it, might as well abuse it, right? Ah, jeez. And I get in there with only a couple of HP left again.
Don't forget your magic.
Would you recommend Pipe Push Paradise, Silver?
Come on.
There you go.
I'm just bad at these things.
Get good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I will add that game to my list.
That time I absolutely did take a hit without any chance. And the funny thing is I came back here to look for hearts, and there are none.
Well, at least you got your magic refilled.
And the same developer has another game called Hiding Spot, which is in a bundle on Steam. So of course, I'd have to buy the bundle and purchase both games if I were to play either.
Alright, win or lose, this is the last try. Okay, so plus, plus, diagonal, plus, plus, diagonal. So it looks like there is a pattern. Diagonal, or what? This is gonna be, nope, it's random.
Wow.
It was just coincidentally, okay, so this is garbage.
It probably just tries to kill you. Also, will you save state here?
Should I?
It's a you question.
You told him not to.
He told me
I
not
did,
to,
but I'm
so-
asking if you will.
No.
Because it took him
Really?
forever to
That's
get back
nice.
here.
That's
he was
only because.
trying
All right. Well, that's the end of this run for tonight.
Okay.
We'll save state right here.
On the game over screen.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is where we'll pick up for next time. And actually, I'm going to save state right here because it's more reliable than trusting their save system. All right. Did either of you have anything you want to say before we close out?
I wish.
You wish. Well,
Good night, I guess.
if anybody has any thoughts of what they would like us to talk about on stream, go ahead and post it in either the our Metroidvania Discord or the site Discord, and I will make a note of it, and we'll make sure that we bring it up. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next week.